arrested in connection with the Bantama gang rape today. Alleged gang rape, I must say, appeared in court for a second time. The three were part of a group of 7 friends who were seen in a video footage sexually assaulting a teenager. Ohame Interior has been following the story. He filed this report earlier this morning ahead of the hearing.
3 young men who were arrested over the weekend at Kumasi Bantama for allegedly gang raping a young lady made their second appearance at the Asokwa District Court on Wednesday. The 3 made their maiden appearance on Tuesday to answer charges on their involvement in the gang raping of that young lady. Unlike in their maiden appearance, in which no lawyer represented them, in their second appearance, they were represented by lawyer John Boama. According to lawyer John Boama, the pleas of his clients are yet to be taken and that they have been remanded into a juvenile cell or into the custody of their parents. But we later found out that the 3 young men are not in the custody of their parents, but rather in the juvenile cells of the Ghana Police Service.
So ideally, the most important thing is, in such matters, if you can rather give us chance to educate the masses at your various media houses, we'll be most grateful with that.
Okay.
Because the society has to know about the positions of the law concerning juveniles who are in conflict with who are alleged to be in conflict with the law.
I see. But yesterday you were not in court and today you are here. So when you met the judge at the proceedings, what exactly happened?
According to the police, investigation is still ongoing.
And did you call for a bail for them?
Well, but once investigation is ongoing, there's no way you just ask for bail. So the plea has not been taken. Okay. So if plea has not been taken, you can't ask for bail. Okay. So we are waiting till we come next week. So please, let's keep hope alive. Let's keep calm. At the final determination of the case, everything will come to light.
According to lawyer John Boama, the plea of his clients are yet to be taken and that they have been remanded to reappear before the court presided by His Worship Peter Obemboahin on December 27th. From Asokwa in Kumasi for VimGHnews, Ohame Interior reporting.
Bring you more on that very pathetic story as and when we have information. For now, let's do some politics here. And former Deputy Communication Minister Felix Kwakye says those declaring their intentions for the 2020 flag bearership of the opposition NDC are acting prematurely. Ecos Gabra, Alban Bagbin and Professor Joshua Alabi have publicly declared their intentions to be presidential candidates of the party. The outspoken former deputy minister, who has also been described as baby with sharp teeth by a former founder of the NDC, Jerry John Rawlings, however, says he'll support former President John Mahama should he decide to contest for the 2020 flag bearership of the party. He's been my special guest today.
We need to take collective responsibility for the loss.
Have you in charge of communication directly?
Well, like I said, if there were any shortcomings in the communication area, why not? There's no difficulty on my part at all.
Think there wasn't?
No, I didn't say there wasn't. But like I'm telling you, it is always better to use internal mechanisms to address these things
so
rather than yeah. But the discussions are going on. We have opportunity to interface regularly. So we peer review. We criticize each other's performance over the year. In any event, it's been a year since we lost elections. I'm not sure that it is still time, or better still, it is still appropriate 1 year down the line to be engaged in that kind of fault finding. I would like to believe that it is the way forward that should dominate our discussions internally as a party. Of course, we must draw on the lessons of yesterday to inform the strategies that will evolve in the present, and that will determine what our fortunes will be in the future. I think that discussion is ongoing.
On
and
side,
nobody
what
has
would you
been.
have done differently?
Oh, I think that in terms of government policies and what have you, look, some of the policies were difficult, but they were necessary. And I keep on referring you to the current situation. For instance, when we decided to go to the IMF, I mean, you saw you heard the uproar that greeted that decision. But as a government that at the time was in opposition and strenuously opposed it, done anything different from what we have done? No. We were accused of borrowing a lot, right? Even at a time when we could point to massive infrastructure to justify that borrowing, there were those in our system who claimed that they could not see what we had done. This government has borrowed 30 billion Ghana cedis in 11 months. And I can challenge you that they will not be able to point you to one infrastructure project that money has gone into. Not one.
We'll come to your assessment.
Yes, but you see, so in terms of government policy, there were some of the decisions that were difficult, but they were necessary. And on hindsight, we've been vindicated. Yes.
But unfounded, what you're calling unfounded allegations, that's one of the areas where they've said that your communication strategy was quite.
No, we did. You see, and here let me do a criticism of the media. I think that on that score, we take our fair share of the blame. But on that score, I think that you should do more to shield the citizens of this country from misinformation and deliberate distortion of facts. Look, the fact that you people did not check Dr. Bawumia's claims about the debt that we owed was a grave travesty. Here was a man who went around claiming that we had borrowed $35 billion in 8 years, at a time when our entire national debt didn't come anywhere close to that figure. It was an economic absurdity. It was a mathematical impossibility, and yet you allowed it to pass. Despite our best efforts to push it back, you wouldn't independently verify. So that of course, but we constantly, absolutely, we did that. Whenever we did that, you said, oh, Dr. Bawumia was an economist, he was credible. But independently, you never attempted to verify that from the various sources that you could have obtained information from. Again, corruption allegations. All that needed to happen was for President Mohammed's name to be mentioned, and you will all jump onto it without verification. And just, for instance, this allegation about the look. There were many. I can give you many off the top of my head, and I'll do. Look, Dr. What do you call it? Nana Akofu at the Aliu Mahama lectures claimed that the Kaswa interchange project had been inflated, and indeed the inflation of projects became their sing song. It was one of the ways that they felt they could undermine whatever political capital we could derive as a party from the investments that we had made in infrastructure. On that score, let me give you credit, really. I mean, Joy FM at least spoke to then minority ranking member on Roads and Transport, Honorable Adom, who quickly corrected that misinformation. He then went on to the Rage Hospital project and claimed that it had been inflated by $142 million, which was a complete falsehood, because the facts as were available showed clearly that that didn't happen. Interestingly, since they've been in power, in May this year, the health minister, Mr. Ajimamenu, put a plaque on that hospital and purported to commission it. Now, I want to ask why the MPP would allow their finance minister, their health minister, to put his name on a project that they claim was a product of corruption. It was a complete falsehood. Another one was his claim.
The fact that the minister commissioned.
Yes, but you see what you do.
Necessarily remove.
No. Look.
Any issues about value for money.
No, but I'm saying that there was no issue with value for money. It was a complete falsehood. First, because they didn't even provide any evidence to back it in the first place. And the records are still available show that nothing of the sort happened. But it was repeated many times. Another one was a claim that we had procured diaries for 10 million. Yes.
That's the final one.
Exactly. Another one was the claim that we had procured diaries for $10 million. I mean, it was an outrageous falsehood peddled by Nana Akufo-Addo at the time.
Did you procure diaries?
Well, of course we did. The same way. You see, the same way that they procured 2017 diaries.
How much?
So they know. Well, I was not directly involved in the program. I don't know, but it comes absolutely. What happens actually?
Because we're talking about these, what you're calling unfounded allegations.
Yeah, but they were unfounded. Yes, you see, we countered it with information. The person in charge. The person in charge at the time, I think Dr. Apak, spoke to the issue, and he showed how monies are raised for it. He told you, look, first of all,
because
yes,
you're blaming the media
first of all,
the media for not shielding.
Absolutely. First of all, you should have.
But information depends on.
You see, again, first of all, you demand from the one alleging proof of the claim. That didn't happen. He was never put on the spot.
And then you come to
yes, the person
who's been accused.
Absolutely, but your first rule is to squeeze information out of the alleger. Absolutely. But let me. I'm criticizing that rule. I think that you were lax, especially when it came to the new patriotic party's leadership. I think so. I think that going forward, you need to do more. You see, do same to us whilst we are in opposition. When we make allegations, demand of us proof so that it enriches the debate.
Demanding that information or seeking their side of
that is fine. But you see, there's no shortage.
Onus lies on you.
You see, there's no shortage. There's no shortage of information about it. What happens is that often
now you're not able to tell.
I'm telling you, I'm coming. Like I told you, I do not have. I beg your pardon. You see, I can tell you as a matter of fact, because indeed that allegation itself is illogical. With the greatest respect to the person who made it, it is not possible to print a few hundreds of diaries for 10 million Ghana cedis, especially if you look at the, yes, I'm coming. If you look at the quality of the diary, so that is the first red flag that should be raised. The second point is that if you look at the process that is used, it has not been different from what we came to inherit and what they are using currently. It is primarily sponsored by persons who want to advertise in the diary. And that has all, yes, but I'm saying that, well, it is information. I don't have it. It is information you can obtain from the present government, the chief of staff.
You are in charge of communication, but
well, I'm not, listen, I'm not in charge. You see, I'm not in charge of the communication system now. But it is curious.
You were then.
I beg your pardon. Yes, I was then. But now, the people who made the allegation are in a position to tell you exactly how much it cost. Yes, but I'm saying that.
I have you here with me.
Yes, but you have access to the president. You have a correspondent at the flagstaff house. The point, you see, the point I'm making is that we all should do more to stem the tide of unfounded accusations against individuals and against government, because it has the unintended effect of misinforming the voter, and sometimes wrong choices can be made on the basis of that. Yes.
Let's look at the reorganization that's going on at the moment within the party. What's happening?
Well, I think, like I told you before, the Kwabena committee report was a major watershed because it offered a scientific basis to collate accurate information about what our party members and supporters believe may have been some of our weaknesses going into the elections. That report has been presented and the recommendations have begun to be implemented. The healing tour that was embarked on by the Council of Elders was a direct response to some of the issues that were raised. I'm aware of other engagements and interactions and discussions and consultations that are taking place within the party at various levels. Currently, preparations are underway for us to begin the compilation of a new register, and we will do that at the branch level upwards, and it should start in a matter of weeks. That will give us a basis upon which we can then have information about our membership and how to engage them in ways that become beneficial for us going forward. Following from that, there are a number of elections that would take place at branch, at constituency, at regional, and at the national level. Okay. So that then gives us the sort of impetus to go into the activities in the run-up to the 2020 elections and present a credible program to the Ghanaian people, which I believe would inform a decision to return us to power. In the meantime, too, we have a role as an opposition party, especially through our minority in parliament, to hold the feet of this government to the fire of accountability. And I believe that our minority group is doing a sterling job in that.
Yeah. On the party. Sure. Let's find out from you. There are concerns about the implementation of the Kwabena report. In terms of reorganizing the party, people have raised concerns about the unity walk, for example. They say that that's not even the name for it. And there are concerns that the unity walk is being conducted in a way that gives former President John Mahama an undue advantage over other persons who are interested in being flag bearer of the party.
First of all, I'm not sure that the leadership of the NDC has announced any flag bearership race.
No, they haven't.
So that's the first point.
Will be pretending.
No, you see, we are not. You see, we need to put the issues. You see, we need to put the issues in proper perspective. There's no flag bearership race as far as I'm aware of. Sometime in 2018, our constitution says we should elect a flag bearer 2 years to elections when we are in opposition. So I'm sure sometime in 2018 the contest will start. Then people can formally hold themselves out.
You haven't heard that.
Well, you see, I prefer to deal with systems and structures. Like I said, I'm a stickler for discipline, party discipline. So for that reason, I prefer to stick with the line of the party in these things. The party has not opened any flag bearership contest. President Mahama has even not declared any intention to contest, as far as I'm aware. But you see,
I can tell you those who have declared their intention.
Well, of course, I'm not oblivious. Look, I'm not oblivious to that. But the point is that we cannot begin to. Are you saying
that what they're doing amounts to indiscipline?
No, you see, I believe that it is a bit premature at this stage to have that kind of discussion. It is the organization of the party that is paramount at this stage. All efforts should be put into helping the party organize at various levels. Now, it does not mean that whilst that reorganization is going on, we cannot engage in some activity to whip up enthusiasm among our rank and file. So if a party activity is hosted by constituency executives or regional executives, and leading figures of the party participate in it. I don't think that it in any way detracts from the party's forward march, or it undermines anybody's prospective candidacy, for which reason there should be any uproar. I would rather like to believe that those who initiated these works should be commended, because they have provided an avenue for us to whip up enthusiasm amongst our members, and that is very, very key in political party mobilization.
They have indicated their interest to be flag bearers of the party, feel like they're contributing to the party, they're contributing to the reorganization, and when you go on this unity tour, you don't give them...
First of all, I'm not sure that the unity works constitute a platform for persons to advertise themselves. When President Mahama is given the opportunity, it is because he is the most preeminent person in the party as we speak. He is immediate past ex-president. That cannot be taken away from him. So if he is given opportunity to speak because he is the most prominent figure available, I don't think that it detracts from any other person's prospective candidacy. And it should not raise any eyebrows in mind. You see,
what about 10 regional chairmen coming together to...
Well, again, the point is that there are 10 regional chairmen. Indeed, if you recall, President Mahama himself came out swiftly to indicate that he does not believe that that is the way to go at the moment, and that efforts should rather be channeled into reorganizing the party at various levels. So there's no dispute about where former President Mahama stands on that particular
within
matter.
His circles, former President Mahama's circles. I mean, he's worked with you quite closely.
That is true.
Do you think he wants to be president?
Well,
again?
he has not made any formal announcement. He's had opportunity to speak to the matter. Indeed, in the present